Good afternoon, we are Veronica
Alejandra, Camila,
and the topic for presentation is the value of corrective feedback. The goal of our presentation is to explain what corrective feedback is,
to present some examples, and to show the importance of using corrective feedback positively to support learning. It doesn't work. You went backwards?
Providing corrective feedback to help learners in their language development can be a daunting and complex task. Particularly complex is to identify which aspects to give feedback on and how to do it.
Corrective feedback is a valuable approach that is very potential to help students with persistently problematic linguistic errors. No matter who or when we teach, we can begin to address the problem of correction by talking to our students about errors and mistakes.
What is corrective feedback? It's the process by which the teacher provides learners with information about their performance for the purpose of improvement.
As I stated, corrective feedback takes the form of responses to learning utterances that contain error. Those responses can consist of an indication that an error has been committed, provision of the correct language form, or
Metalinguistic information about the nature of the error or any combination of these.
errors and mistakes are a natural part of the learning process. At first glance, these two terms seem interchangeable, but in fact, they are quite different from each other. In everyday conversation, people use these two words interchangeably, but in fact, we know that they are different from each other.
According to Brown, a mistake refers to a performance error that is either a random guess or a slip, in that it is a failure to utilize a known system correctly. The key difference between a mistake and an error is that mistakes, when attention is called to them, can be self-corrected. An error reflects to the competence of the learner. When the mistakes can be self-corrected, an error cannot be self-corrected.
Students' errors are an integral part of the learning process, and they need to be treated as a teachable moment.
Who should give corrective feedback? Considering the participants in the corrective feedback interaction, there are the following possibilities.
Self-correction is possible when the learner realizes that he has committed a mistake and repairs it by providing a correct form in place of the wrong one. Self-correction seems to be preferred to correction provided by others. It is space-saving and allows the learner to play an active role in the corrective event.
Peer correction occurs when one learner corrects another. This kind of correction is appreciated for a number of reasons. Its most important advantages are the following. First, both learners are involved in face-to-face interaction, so the teacher obtains information about the learner's current abilities. Second, learners cooperate with language learners and become less teacher-dependent. Thirdly, peer correction does not make errors a public affair, which protects the learner's ego and increases their self-confidence.
And teacher correction happens when the teacher knows the problem and the solution, and can define and put things simply for the student to understand the mistake.
When should we give corrective feedback? After establishing teaching and learning objectives in the classroom, and once they are clear, we are ready to employ the different alternative activities that involve corrective feedback.
We are going to begin focusing on providing corrective feedback on students' oral performance.
If the objective of the activity is to develop accuracy, then correction is necessary immediately. In this case, the best approach is to allow the students to self-correct first.
If that doesn't work, allow for peer correction. If no one seems to know, then the teacher can give the feedback. Although this can be time-consuming, it helps to focus students' attention and reduce reliance on the teacher, thereby encouraging students' autonomy.
On the other hand, if the objective of the activity is to develop fluency, correction may not be necessary. Interrupting students to correct them can be irritating and distracting, especially when lack of accuracy does not hinder communication.
If there are frequent errors, the teacher can make mental notes and provide feedback after the activity. As we previously mentioned, the choice depends on whether the activity is accuracy-based or fluency-based.
What are some strategies of oral corrective feedback? Oral corrective feedback can be explicit or implicit. Implicit knowledge refers to tacit, intuitive, and procedural knowledge regarding what is grammatical. For example, he goes, yes, he goes to high school.
Explicit knowledge, on the other hand, refers to conscious and declarative knowledge regarding facts about the language system, which can be verbalized by individuals. He goes, well, you should say he goes.
The following chart will represent some examples of different strategies used in oral corrective feedback. The first one is oral recast, which involves the teacher's reformulation of all or parts of the student's utterance minus the error. Without directly indicating that the student's utterance was incorrect, the teacher implicitly reformulates the student's errors or provides the correction. An example will be presented in this very short video.
That's why you shouldn't rely on the
On the
internet.
internet, yes. Okay,
You know what doesn't happen? That day we are not going to practice, of course.
Okay. Over there you have connection with, okay.
Yeah, I do, but I don't know why it's in charge immediately.
Maybe the blood is not broken.
Maybe get open the browser.
Hello, Alejandra. Hello, teacher. How was your weekend? It is great. Oh, it was great. Oh, it was great. And what did you do? I go to the movies and I ate popcorn. Wow, you went to the movies and you ate popcorn. I went to the movies and I ate popcorn. Yes, good.
As Mr. and Brenda said in 1997, clarification request indicates to students either that the utterance has been misunderstood by the teacher or that the utterance is ill-formed in some way, and that repetition or reformulation is required. This is a feedback type that can refer to problems in either comprehensibility or accuracy or both. A clarification request includes phrases such as sorry. It may also include a repetition of the error, as in, what do you mean by X? Let's have a look at the following video.
2 times a month. Remember, we go to the movies? Oh, we go to the movies twice a month. Good.
And in elicitation, the teacher directly elicits the correct form from the student by asking questions. For example, how do you say that in English? Or by pausing to allow the student to complete the English utterance. Or by asking the student to reformulate the utterance. Like, can you say that again? Elicitation questions differ from methodologistic clues in that they require more than a yes or no response. Let's watch another example.
Hello, Ali. Hello, teacher. So, Ali, talking about movies, how often do you go to the movies? I go to the movies 2 times a month. Remember, you go to the movies? Oh, I go to the movies twice a month. Good.
It's the same.
Remember that we
Yes, clarification. So it's here.
and my clarification was that as well. It was here.
Hello, Ali. Hello, Mr. Dani. Have you been to any new countries lately? Yes, I've been. What do you mean by lately? I've been to England. Sorry? I have been to England. Oh, fantastic.
Cuando estaba técnica, las experience.
Then we have metalinguistic correction. Without providing the correct form, the teacher poses questions or provides comments or information related to the student's utterance. And here it goes our final unit.
Hello, Ali. Hello, teacher. Oh, what a nice t-shirt. Oh, thank you. It is made in Italy. Well, you should use the passive because it focuses on the action. Oh, you're right. So it was made in Italy. Great.
What are some strategies of written corrective feedback? In written corrective feedback, the teacher needs a period of time to collect the written work and respond. That is why it is always delayed. As Ellis mentioned in 2008, learners are more likely to attend the corrections directed at a single error type and more likely to develop a clearer understanding of the error and the correction meaning.
Errors can be corrected in several ways. In written corrective feedback, the correction form can be direct or indirect. As Ferris stated, in direct written corrective feedback, teachers provide the correct form. For example, crossing out an unnecessary word or phrase, or inserting a missing word or phrase, and writing the correct form above or near the erroneous form.
The advantage of this strategy that it provides the learner with explicit guidance about how to correct their errors.
As a disadvantage, it requires minimal processing on the part of the learner, and thus, although it might help them to produce the correct form, when they revise their writing, it may not contribute to long-term learning.
As it is suggested, indirect written corrective feedback involves indicating that the learner has made an error but without actually correcting it. This can be done by underlining the errors or using cursors to show omissions in the learner text or by placing a code in the margin next to the line containing the error.
According to Lamley, an advantage of this strategy is that it caters to varied learning and problem solving, encouraging learners to reflect on linguistic forms.
A disadvantage is that learners cannot correct if they do not know the correct form. Learners may be able to correct, but will not be certain that they are correct.
What aspects should we take into account? Corrective feedback is a highly complex phenomenon which has some principles we should take into account.
Corrective feedback must constitute a collaborative effort because participants must agree on the goals of the corrective feedback.
Corrective feedback must reflect a real need on the part of the learner. If the learner can self-correct without feedback, then corrective feedback is not needed.
Corrective feedback must be highly flexible, adapted to the individual learner.
Corrective feedback facilitates when it is graduated, providing no more help than is needed to enable the learner to correct the error.
Corrective feedback must also take account of the affective needs of the learner.
It is the learner who determines whether to appropriate to the corrective feedback by the teacher.
Talking from our own experience as teachers, we know how much corrective feedback changes with the type of teacher and the type of learner.
The interesting part of this process is becoming aware of our own weaknesses as teachers and being able to do something about it.
The same counts for our students' own process. If we are involved with our students, we will be able to identify more easily what they need and what is the best way to say it.
Which errors to correct and how? Bert claims that teachers should focus on global rather than local errors. Global errors are the ones that affect overall sentence organization. Local errors are those that affect single elements in a sentence.
Regarding the choice of errors, we should take into account which one should be corrected and whether corrective feedback should be unfocused, that is, to address all or most of the errors learners commit, or focused, that is, to address one or two error types.
We have chosen some practical examples from our daily classroom. When students read a text aloud and individually, the teacher listens and writes on the board the mispronounced words. The aim of this exercise is not to interrupt the students, but to precisely focus on how to pronounce the words after the text has been read aloud. The activity is a clear example of focused corrective feedback.
In the case of unfocused corrective feedback, a quick and good option to correct a piece of writing is to use symbols to make corrections. Teacher must make sure that the students have a copy of the following correction key in order to pinpoint the errors. A practical idea is to ask them to know anything they like about their partner's work and that they share this with them when they are ready to give feedback. Once the students have exchanged ideas, they will be ready to improve a version of it.
Conclusion.
We consider that corrective feedback is a complex phenomenon that plays an important role in enhancing both oral and written linguistic accuracy. As teachers, we need to assess the needs of our students and try to engage them in the corrective feedback practices. We cannot ignore the fact that not all students will benefit from corrective feedback in the same way for reasons such as motivation and learning styles.
The success and implementation of corrective feedback may depend on a variety of factors that the teacher might face in the classroom. That is to say, the classroom atmosphere, the type of hours students make, the proficiency level, and the type of activity they are asked to perform.
Involving learners in the process of corrective feedback can provide information to teachers as to which linguistic features they might find more problematic. When working with students, teachers can inform on the purpose of providing feedback and on which particular error types they will focus on. Motivation is more likely to be gained if teachers negotiate with the students about how often their feedback will be given, about its time, and about what the students will be expected to do in response to feedback.
We believe that engaging learners in the corrective feedback process is paramount because it not only raises students' motivation, but it also promotes their autonomy.
To conclude, from our teaching experience, we consider that we need to be 100% open to discussion, to obtain the best response needed of corrective food.
We would like to share this final reflection with you. Feedback that focuses on what needs to be done can encourage all to believe that they can